Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today I'm going to be covering some of my most used newborn baby products, so between 0 to 3 months for twins, as well as a few regrets. So let's not waste any time with my rambly intros and get right into it. So item number 1, the Love to Dream Swaddle. Guys, we tried so many swaddles before we finally landed on this one, I can't even begin to explain. We tried the Velcro ones and the zip-up peanut looking ones, as well as blankets that we just used to swaddle, and I have little Houdinis and they broke out of literally every single one until we found this one. The Love to Dream allowed them to have their hands up and get their hands to their mouth a little bit so they could self-soothe, but prevented the startle reflex from waking them up. We all had better sleeps once these entered our lives, and I highly recommend them. Next is the Rock and Play. I highly recommend this item. The only thing I would do differently if I could go back in time is get the one that plugs in and self-rocks, because my Grace loved to be rocked in this thing, but that meant that one of us had to be in the room with her, like physically rocking her. So if I could do it again, I would definitely get the one that you could just plug in, turn on, and it would rock the baby for you. But other than that, I mean, this thing was amazing. I had them napping in it most of the time downstairs with me when they were brand new. As well, it traveled like a dream, and so we often had them napping in it if we went to grandparents' house or to visit friends or even the cottage. We even sometimes had them sleeping in it overnight if their reflux was acting up. Like I said, it traveled really well and was super convenient when they were small. This playmat, oh my gosh, you guys, this playmat was such a dream to find. It is humongous, so it can fit both of the twins quite comfortably, even up in today, and they're 8 months now. It came with an elephant that plays music and lights up, and when they were little, this was a lifesaver because you could just put them under it and they were fascinated by this elephant. They could just sit and stare at it for so long. Bonus feature, you can also use it as a ball pit when they get a little bit bigger. I love items that convert to continue to grow with the kids so you can use them longer term and not just in the first few months of life. The next thing is the Ubi diaper pail. I hope I'm saying that right. This maybe should be higher on the list given that I use it about 1,000,000 times a day. It does an amazing job of keeping odors out, and it is fairly large. Even with twins, I only generally have to change it about twice a week, and you can use whatever garbage bags you want, so that is super convenient. My only issue with this diaper pail is that maybe it does too good a job. Is that a thing? Yeah, it is, because it honestly does such a good job at keeping the odors in that it starts to smell itself. So I have to air it out every time I take out or change the garbage bag. Now I assure you, it's not because any dirty diapers have accidentally gotten in the pail or fallen behind the bag. No, it just traps the odors in and locks them in, and I don't know if they get absorbed into the metal, but after you air it out for overnight or whatever, it's totally fine. A baby swing. Guys, a baby swing is the most amazing thing. Now I know that every baby has their own preferences and sometimes finding a swing can be difficult. As you will see, some of the things that I talk about in my regrets, it was a type of swing. They just didn't like it. So it's so personal preference. But the one my daughters loved was by Fisher-Price, and my Grace loves this thing even to this day, and I'm a little bit heartbroken that she is pretty much nanoseconds from outgrowing it. It can soothe your baby and give you just a few minutes to run to the bathroom or grab a cup of water or maybe manage to eat something finally for the first time in the day at 4 p.m. My new mamas, I know you know what I'm talking about. The Ergo Carrier with the infant insert. We use this thing like crazy, especially when we were on vacation and we were taking them on hikes. They both loved it. They fell asleep in it every time we put them in it, so it was obviously quite comfortable for them, and it's comfortable for us. It has ergonomic positioning for the straps. There's a strap that goes around your waist to help manage the weight of the baby. We found them very comfortable, and like I mentioned, the babies found them very comfortable, and it's just super convenient. We got the 360s so that we can carry them outwards, and we do now that they're older face them outwards to see, but when they were newborn, you had to face them inwards. Unfortunately, it does not carry both of them at the same time, so we did need to purchase 2 of these, and they are obviously only functional if you have another adult there to use one with you with the twins. So that is the only downside, but in terms of just having a newborn, if you're looking for a carrier, I think this is a great one, and I do think it's a great one for twins because I'm not sure I'd want to carry 2 newborns in one of those carriers anyway. The bassinet attachments for my stroller were a game changer. I used these so much when they were brand new. It made me more comfortable to go on a long walk because I knew they weren't inclined if I had been using the seat, like the car seat in the stroller. They could lie down. They were very comfortable napping in the bassinet, especially in those first, 6 to 8 weeks where they can pretty much sleep anywhere. We also used them to travel as travel bassinets, so we would put them beside the bed. This is what the girls slept in as well when we were on vacation because it was a 2 birds, 1 stone sort of thing. We could use them to take them out for walks, but we could also use them at night to have them sleep in. It was perfect. Another thing that I absolutely couldn't live without is a car seat cover. Now my babies were born in the spring, so these particular car seat covers by Milk Snob were very convenient for that time of year. They were good for the summer. They kept the wind, they kept the sun off of them. They're also fantastic because they can double up as a breastfeeding cover if that is something that you are doing, if you're breastfeeding your babies. I didn't end up breastfeeding, as I've discussed in previous videos. I was exclusively pumping, but when I had bought this cover, the intention was that it could also be used for this purpose. They come in beautiful patterns. They're really stretchy so they can fit pretty much any car seat, and I honestly got compliments on them pretty much everywhere I went. Now that it's winter time, I love these car seat covers by Jolly Jumper. They have like a peekaboo thing, so just their heads show and it keeps a lot of the cold out. There's a built-in blanket underneath that's attached to the car seat cover so that you know you're not going to lose it, first of all, but they also can't kick it off if you can't see them. You can unzip it if it's too hot and you just want the blanket, or you can zip it all the way up if it's like really cold and you're going for a walk. I'm telling you, my girls were really warm in these. I would use them when they were a little bit smaller when I was taking them on a walk in the car seats, but we'd also put them over the car seats when we were just getting in the car and then unzip them when the car warmed up. If you're having a baby born in the winter, I think that these are absolutely a must-have. And last but not least, a Wubba Dub. Now these things are on most mamas' like must-have item lists, and they are pretty expensive considering they're just a pacifier, but I love them because they had the little toy on the end for so many reasons. A, my girls loved to like kind of play with them once they got the motor control to do that. It also was a little bit comforting for them because they have a little bit of a weight to them that sits right on their chest. Bonus, that also helps keep the pacifier in place when they're really little and they're not moving around too much because the animal sits on their chest, the pacifier is attached to the animal, and it's not really going anywhere. One tip I want to give you about the Wubba Nubs is, for especially when they're really little, look for ones that have like a long neck. For example, this giraffe. The giraffe has a long neck, so the body of the animal is sitting further away from their face. When I bought them, the giraffe was not the first one I bought. I actually bought this sheep. And the sheep, as you can see, its legs are kind of close to the pacifier, so I found that the legs were touching their face, and A, they didn't like it, but it also made it less likely for it to stay in place for long periods of time. We ended up not really using the sheep that much. We had an elephant and a giraffe that worked much better. I'm lucky enough to just have a few regrets, and so I'll just go through them really quick. Again, these regrets are not necessarily because these products are bad products. I know lots of people who have these products and swear by them. These are just products that I bought that I either A, didn't end up using, or B, my girls didn't really like them. My first regret is this other Fisher-Price swing. Now this regret is kind of a heartbreaker because I was really hoping that this was the swing they would prefer. It had a much smaller footprint, and considering I live in a house that has very tiny rooms, this smaller footprint was like ideal for me. Unfortunately, my girls really didn't like the motion of that type of swing. It was very similar to a Mamaroo in the terms of the way it moved and bounced around. My girls both really loved this swing motion from the other Fisher-Price swing that I had discussed in the products that I absolutely loved. I also think there was a recall on this Fisher-Price swing that I regret purchasing. So I ended up getting my money back, which I guess was a bonus, but the recall really wasn't the reason I didn't like it. It was just because my girls didn't like it, so I ended up never using it. Now this particular playmat I regret purchasing. I believe it's from Fisher-Price as well. It's not because it's a bad product, as I mentioned. I actually really like it. I think that it's really cute. I also love that it came with this piano feature that my girls seem to love now that they're a bit older. Why I regret purchasing it for twins is because I didn't think about the fact that they wouldn't both fit on this thing for very long. Now when they were brand spanking new, I could fit them side by side on it, but that really only lasted probably not even a month before I had to upgrade to the other mat that I've talked about earlier in this video. So if you're having twins, definitely consider the size of the mat and that you want to put them down on the same mat at the same time. Like, there's going to be times where you're switching back and forth, and sure, only one baby's on the mat at a time, but there's also going to be times where you want them both on the mat at the same time. And so you either buy 2 of the smaller mats or look for one that's bigger just to start off. And my final regret is the Moby wrap. Now, again, it's not because this product is bad, it's because I am incompetent at these wraps. I tried so many times to figure it out. I watched tons of YouTube videos, and I just never felt that I got a secure enough hold when I tried to wrap the girls in this wrap. Now, the intention when I was pregnant and a little bit naive was that I would be able to wrap both of the babies in this when they were really small, and this is what I would use when they were newborns, and we would progress to the Ergo Carrier when they got a little bit bigger. Now, that didn't exactly work out for me. I only managed to ever get one in at a time, and as mentioned, I never really felt comfortable or secure in the hold, so I think I only managed to keep them in it for an hour total. I mean, of all my tries, I think we got an hour's worth of use out of this wrap. So if you're a little more savvy than I am, and I know people that use these wraps very successfully, I unfortunately was not one of these people. I know there's other wraps that you can try that don't require all the wrapping. They kind of have the same kind of cloth support system, but there's either like rings or loops that you can use, or they're kind of like fit to a specific person, so you can get them in multiple sizes, but they're kind of already wrapped for you, like the baby Catan, if that makes any sense. The reason I didn't opt for that one right from the start was because I knew my husband and I were 2 totally different sizes, and I wanted us to both be able to use it. And so I thought, well, I'll just get the one you wrap yourself, because then it can, you know, adjust to whoever's wearing it. Yeah, it was not my brightest or best idea, clearly. Alright guys, that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know in the comments below what your favorite or most used newborn baby products were. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!